So you just got your first Elite TM, or you've been stocking up a bunch of them and you don't know what to use them on. Let me help you out. Guys, today we're gonna be going through Elite TMs, both charged and fast TMs, and what are the best Pokemon to use them on, a full guide breaking down what Pokemon you should invest them into. Let's just get into it. So first off, what is an Elite TM? If you don't know what this item is, it is a special type of TM that allows you to teach your Pokemon any move from their move pool. And that includes something called legacy moves, which are moves only available during past special events like community days, raid days, different stuff like that. As you can see here, for example, if I use a fast TM on a Pokemon like a Woobat, it's gonna forget its fast move and it's gonna learn another random fast move from its move pool. But if I use an Elite fast TM on the Woobat, it's gonna give me the option to choose any of its potential moves and you can give it that. Obviously, it only knows one other fast move. For example, let's go with a charged TM. And here you can choose Forget Air Cutter, Learn Aerial Ace, or Psy Shock. This, however, is not the best use of your Elite TM because you wanna be using it to get these exclusive legacy moves, which are only available via Elite TMs or past special events. For example, this Mewtwo here has a bunch of moves it can learn, but the first one, Psy Strike, and the second one, Shadow Ball, are both considered legacy moves, which are moves that you can only get through these Elite TMs or special events. If I were to go for the Charge TM here on my Mewtwo and keep using Charge TMs, it will never learn Psy Strike or Shadow Ball because those are legacy moves. If you're curious what Pokemon can learn what legacy moves, I'm gonna link below this website here, Pokemon Fandom, which goes through every single Pokemon in Pokemon Go, fully updated, breaking down every single legacy moves. The ones on the left are gonna be the fast legacy moves. The ones on the right are gonna be legacy charge moves. So for example, Alolan Sandslash can learn the legacy fast move Shadow Claw. Regular Sandslash can learn the legacy fast move Night Slash. No, just because a legacy move is legacy on one Pokemon, like Alolan Sandslash, doesn't mean it's gonna be legacy on another Pokemon. Like Feraligatr can just naturally learn Shadow Claw, but Alolan Sandslash needs it as its legacy move. I don't know why they did that, but they did. Also, do remember there are Elite Fast TMs and Elite Charge TMs. Elite Fast TMs will allow you to learn legacy fast moves and Charge TMs legacy charge moves. So it's not just one Elite TM to get legacy fast or charge, you need specific ones. Now, if you're watching this video, you might not even have an Elite TM and you're curious what these things even are and how do you even get them. So let's talk about how to get Elite TMs, and there's 3 ways only. The number one is gonna be community day boxes. Community day boxes are only gonna come around during community days. When Pokemon Go has a community day, there'll be a special exclusive box in the shop. They're gonna vary in prices. Here's an example of one of them, but usually they're gonna get you Ultra Balls, Incubators, Lucky Eggs, sometimes raid passives, different stuff like that. And they'll always include one Elite TM, whether that be charged or fast. This one obviously includes an Elite Fast TM. So yes, they're a little bit pay to win, these items. However, these community boxes are a one-time only purchase, so you can't just stock up 1,000 Elite TMs if you have unlimited money. You can only get one, so save your coins if you want to get one of these. The second way and better method is going to be through PvP. Once you hit rank 19 in Pokemon Go, you will get a free Elite Fast TM, which is amazing. And when you hit rank 20 at the end of the season in your end of season rewards, you will get an Elite Charge TM. So it can definitely be worth it to try to grind out those PvP battles, try to get to rank 20. If you need advice on how to get better PvP, check out my video up here. However, that's not the only way to get them through PvP. Every single season, Pokemon Go does give out a free timed research one, the one right here, Go Battle League timed research. You have to win 500 total battles, but on the last page, you get an Elite Charge TM, and I believe you also get an Elite Fast TM from this research, which is amazing. Again, you have to win 500 battles, so it's a lot of battles to win, but if you can grind them out, that is another free way to get Elite TMs. Also, sometimes we have the Go Battle Days, which come along with some free timed research, and that brings us into method number 3, which is gonna be special researches and timed researches. Sometimes you get exclusive researches coming out where you can get an Elite Fast TM or an Elite Charge TM. The most notable ones are gonna be during the Go Battle Day weekends or Go Battle Weeks. Actually, at the time of recording this video, I have one coming up, the Go Battle Week World of Wonders, which will probably come along with a research that's usually actually pretty easy to complete, getting you an Elite TM. So keep an eye on that. Follow the channel here. I'll always update you guys when those are coming and if you can get an Elite TM or not. Also, just recently it was brought to my attention that Roots can actually drop Elite TMs. I do believe it is pretty rare for these to drop, but you might as well try your luck at Roots as well, because that could be another free method to get Elite TMs. Overall though, it is very clear these items are very rare, very hard to get. Niantic does not want to make it easy to get them. So keep an eye out for them, get them when they are available, and if you have the money, buy those community boxes. Now, before we get into the best Pokemon to use your Elite TMs on, I just want to mention that you don't always need to use an Elite TM, and there's a secret method here that allows you to get legacy moves for completely free. And that's going to be during special events. Sometimes Niantic brings back special events where you can get exclusive legacy moves on Pokemon by evolving them into their final final form. This includes things like December Community Day, which is the Community Day in December, in which we can evolve all of the past 2 years of Community Day Pokemon into their final stage, and they will all get their legacy moves. Obviously, this event has passed, but this is an example. This is December Community Day 2023, and at the bottom here, it says featured attacks. The following featured attacks will be available when evolving Pokemon from December 16th to December 17th, 2023. So as you can see here, this whole list of legacy moves, you know, Blastoise with Hydro Cannon, Sandslash with Night Slash, Alolan Sandslash with Shadow Claw, all of these Pokemon, all of these are legacy moves, hard moves to get. You can simply get them by evolving them into their final stage. So yeah, evolving, for example, a Fracture into a Haxorus would get Breaking Swipe during that time. And that is the #1 way to get legacy moves and save yourself Elite TMs. Don't use your Elite TMs on some of these Community Day Pokemon because they're so easily available during the December Community Day events and other events that come around. Final thing to mention is going to be the Hoenn Tours and the Go Fest. They always have a bunch of legacy moves available for Pokemon, catching them in the wild. I've even seen events where you can catch Pokemon in the wild with their legacy moves, like you could catch a Charizard in the wild with Blast Burn. The final thing I'll say here is I recommend coming to this page here. I'm going to link this below. This is breaking down every single past Community Day we've had in Pokemon Go, as you can see here, from 2018 all the way to 2024. It's going to break down all the Pokemon and the ones with their legacy move, for example, like Torchic with Blast Burn, Abra here with Counter on Alakazam. I never recommend Elite TMing these types of Pokemon because, again, these Pokemon will always be available in the future by evolving them into their final form. So my #1 tip, don't evolve Community Day Pokemon that you want to give a legacy move because it will probably come back at some point in the future. The only time I'd ever Elite TM these moves is if you've already, you made a big whoopsie and, you already evolved your Charmander into a Charizard and it doesn't have Blast Burn and it's a hundo. But again, don't evolve these Community Day Pokemon, wait for events, evolve them, get the moves for completely free. Okay, Dax, you've been saying don't do this, don't do that. What do I use my TMs on? Come on, so let's get into it. What I'm gonna do here to make it very simple, I'm gonna go through this full list of every single legacy move in Pokemon Go, which ones you should Elite TM, which ones you should not. First of all, Venusaur with Frenzy Plant. Again, a Community Day Pokemon. Do not use your Elite TMs. Charmeleon with Scratch, that's trash. Charizard and all of its legacy moves here. Again, Blast Burn is the one you're gonna want on Charizard, as well as Wing Attack, because that makes it great for PvP. But again, Blast Burn is a Community Day move, so just wait to evolve it. However, I will say Wing Attack is a move I would consider Elite TMing onto Charizard. Shadow Charizard specifically is very good in the Great League and the Ultra League, so definitely worth considering for an Elite Charge Attack move. Dragon Breath you can probably skip out on. Dragon Breath does make Mega Charizard X, if you end up using Mega Charizard X, a decent Dragon type Ray attacker, but really not that worth it. Again, Wing Attack on Charizard is one I would consider for your Great League and your Ultra League Charizards. Blastoise with Hydro Cannon, this is a move you're gonna want if you're running a Mega Blastoise, but again, it's a Community Day move. Don't Elite TM it, evolve it, get it that way. Butterfree can learn Bug Bite. Yeah, that is absolute trash. Do not Elite TM that. Beedrill here, getting Bug Bite and Drill Run. Now, Bug Bite does make Beedrill a better Bug type Ray attacker, but I don't recommend Elite TMing it because the amount of extra damage it gets as Mega Beedrill with Bug Bite is not significant to an Elite TM. So just stick with its regular move, which I believe is like Fury Cutter or something. It'll do fine. If you're running Beedrill in PvP, you're gonna want Drill Run on it, but again, this is a Community Day move. Don't Elite TM it. Pidgeot here with Wing Attack and Gust as options. If you're running a Mega Pidgeot, Gust is actually gonna be the best move to have for it as a Mega Pidgeot, but is it worth an Elite TM? Probably not, because the damage difference between Gust and Air Slash, not worthy of an Elite TM. If you are running Pidgeot in PvP though, Pidgeot does see some play in the Ultra League and Limited Great League Cups. Wing Attack is definitely gonna be worth it though. So you're gonna wanna make sure you Elite TM Wing Attack on there. Unfortunately, not available as a Community move or anything like that, so that one is gonna cost you. Sparrow can learn Twister. Yeah, no thanks. Sandslash with Night Slash, again, this is a Community move. Just get it through Community Evolution. It's not even that good. Alolan Sandslash with Shadow Claw, again, a Community move. Just evolve your Alolan Sandshrews into Alolan Sandslashes during events when you can get them. Follow the channel and I will tell you when those events are. You can also run Powder Snow on Alolan Sandslash in PvP if you don't have Shadow Claw. It's another great option, so you don't really need to Elite TM this one for PvP anyway. Clefable with Pound, no thanks. Ninetales with all of its moves are trash. Actually, I will say Ninetales with Ember has seen some play in PvP. The Shadow Ninetales with Ember can kind of have some play, but not really necessary. More of a spice pick. Jigglypuff, get out of here. Golbat, get out of here. All this stuff, get out of here. All of this stuff is just useless. I'm gonna scroll by it. But we will come to Poliwrath with Counter. Again, this is going to be a Community move. Get it through the Community move, but you do want Counter on your Poliwrath if you're running it in the Great League or the Ultra League where it does best. Alakazam with Counter, Dazzling Gleam, and Psychic as options. The only one I'll mention here is going to be Psychic on Alakazam. Is actually gonna make Mega Alakazam a very good Psychic type Ray attacker. attacker, so that can be a consideration to Elite TM. But if you have any other Psychic Megas, you know, Mega Latios already ready, it's not really that worth to Elite TM it. So again, this is just like a specialty one if you have like 1,000 Elite TMs and for some reason you want your Mega Alakazam to have Psychic to be better. I don't know. Machamp with its Legacy move, not really any of these are that great. You can probably very skip them. And again, the only one that's decent is Payback, which is a Community Day move. All of this is trash. All of this is trash. Slowbro and Galarian Slowbro, 2 Community Day Pokemon. They both got Surf. These things actually do decent in some limited Great League Cups. So if you have them, definitely go ahead and evolve them to get their Community Day moves when that event comes around, because you're gonna want Surf on Galarian Slowbro, for example. All of this is useless. Dugong with Ice Shard and Icy Wind. This is moves you do need on Dugong for the Great League if you want it to have any play. Now, we have had events in the past where you could evolve Seal into Dugong. I think it was a special Go Battle Day and get both Ice Shard and Icy Wind on it. So this is a very expensive Pokemon in terms of Elite TMs. You actually need both Ice Shard and Icy Wind on this to make it work. But again, maybe just like hold off, see if there's another event in the future. But if you really need a Dugong with these moves, maybe someone can trade you one, or you might have to invest, because this is moves you do need on Dugong to make it good. Moving along, none of this is good. Gengar here I will mention. Lick is actually gonna be the better move for a Mega Gengar in raids, but again, Shadow Claw is like just a little bit worse, so don't use your Elite TMs to get Lick on Gengar. It's not really gonna be worth the value you're gonna be getting out of the extra damage you're gonna be getting, unless you 100% care about doing the most damage. Also, Shadow Punch helps out Gengar in PvP in the Ultra League, but again, you can get that one through evolving because that is a Community Day Pokemon. Moving along here, we do have Alolan Marowak with Shadow Bone. It's a good move for Alolan Marowak in PvP, especially Shadow Alolan Marowak, but you can still get by with Shadow Ball on Alolan Marowak, and sometimes I prefer it, so really not worth an Elite TM on this one. Try to get one of these from trades if you can, unless you're the biggest Alolan Marowak fan, and again, Alolan Marowak is not really cooking in PvP. Lickitung with Body Slam. This is one that I would 100% recommend. Lickitung is a beast in the Great League, one of the best Pokemon there is, but you do need to Elite TM Body Slam onto it, and 100% I recommend if you're into PvP, if you're big into PvP and you need a Lickitung and you want to power it up, you need Body Slam on it. So definitely that's one I would actually recommend, because you can't get that one through special events. I've never seen it, at least. Moving along though, we do have Gyarados here with Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is going to be the premier move for Gyarados in PvP. That includes the Ultra League and the Master League, where it does the best. So definitely recommend getting that move. But again, it's a Community Day move, so just wait to evolve your Magikarps during an event when we can. Follow the channel, I'll tell you when. We do have Lapras here with Ice Shard, and also Ice Beam are 2 moves you do on Lapras. Although Lapras not very good in PvP anymore, like Walrein is just better. You can kind of skip it out. Yeah, I wouldn't use that on that, but I will give it an honorable mention if you're the biggest Lapras fan out there. We have, of course, all of the moves for the evolutions here: Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, all trash. You do not need them because these Pokemon just suck. I'm being pretty harsh today. Okay, we do have the legendaries. Now this is big. Unfortunately, Articuno, not very good, skippable. You don't really need that move. Zapdos with Thundershock, however, if you are running a Shadow Zapdos as a raid attacker, it's good as an electric type raid attacker, you're gonna want Thundershock on it. So consider using an Elite Fast TM on your best IV Shadow Zapdos if you're gonna power it up and all that stuff. Moltres with Sky Attack is probably the best of the 3 though. Sky Attack is an absolute beast on Moltres. Makes it like #1 or #2 flying type raid attacker, especially the Shadow form. So that is one I would consider using your Elite Charge TM on, especially your Shadow, mainly your Shadow Moltreses. You can also wait for events to return where we can catch the legendaries in the wild with their legacy moves. That's something I didn't mention before, but sometimes we have, you know, Pokemon will come back to raids and they'll get a new legacy move, or they'll return with a legacy move. You can wait for Moltres. You might be waiting a while though. Yeah, again, legacy move, great move for Moltres. On Dragonite, none of the moves are gonna be that good, but on Mewtwo, we do have Psystrike and Shadow Ball. Those are 2 moves you're gonna want on Mewtwo. Specifically, Psystrike is the one you really need. If you're running a Mewtwo in the Master League or as a Psychic type raid attacker, you want Psystrike on it. So definitely Elite TM onto any Mewtwo's you catch that have really good IVs and that you're gonna power up. Also, guys, don't just chuck your Elite TMs on a random Pokemon, only put them onto ones you've powered up. Remember that. Also, Shadow Ball on Mewtwo is a great secondary move to have for the Master League for Mewtwo, and it can also make a Mewtwo good as a Ghost type raid attacker. So definitely consider both of those. I have a Mewtwo with just Psystrike, and then the secondary move I just rotate between like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, all that stuff. But then I also have some Mewtwo's with Shadow Ball. It's up to you. We have the 3 starters here, which again, with their legacy moves, those are Community Day moves. Wait to evolve them. We have Politoed with Earthquake. Politoed with Earthquake can be decent in PvP. It's not really really as popular anymore, but it did have its point when it was pretty good. Oh my God, my hair. That is one you can consider, but again, like really, you shouldn't, like Politoed is not really cooking in PvP right now. So that's one like, you know, leave it to the side unless you really want to run Politoed in PvP. Maybe try it out with Blizzard first, and then if Blizzard's not cooking and you need that ground coverage, Elite TM. We have Umbreon here with Last Resort and Psychic. Again, these are both Community Day moves, so you can just wait for Community Day, evolve your Umbreon then, and get the move then, unless again, you already have an Umbreon and you know, you want to use it and you want to put the move on it, it's already evolved, then maybe consider. Again, it's your Elite TM, so you do what you want with it. I'm going to try to guide you guys. We have the Slowking, Galarian Slowking with Surf. Again, great moves on these Pokemon, but they are Community moves, so just wait to evolve them during special events. We have Tyranitar with Smackdown. Now, Tyranitar with Smackdown is a Community move, so you can definitely evolve it to get that move, but that does actually make Tyranitar a decent Rock-type raid attacker, especially the Mega Tyranitar, so that is one to consider getting. Have one Tyranitar as a Dark-type, one as a Rock-type, giving one Smackdown. We have Lugia with Aero Blast. That is a great move on Lugia, necessary for the Master League if you're going to run it, so definitely go ahead and consider Elite TMing any good Lugias you have, or just wait for Lugia to return to raids, and maybe they'll be giving out Lugias with Aero Blast at some point. Who knows? Also, Ho-Oh with Earthquake and Sacred Fire. Two great moves on Ho-Oh. Sacred Fire is going to be the preferred one you want. Incinerate, Sacred Fire, and Brave Bird. So definitely consider Elite TMing on Sacred Fire onto Ho-Oh. Celebi with Magical Leaf, absolute garbage. We have the Gen 3 starters and all of their legacy moves. Again, all evolvable because they are past Community Day moves. So just wait for events when we can get those moves through evolution. We have Shifter with Bullet Seed. You know, you can run it with Snarl or Bullet Seed. This is not really a necessary move to have, but again, it's a Community Day move. Gardevoir with Synchronoise. Synchronoise is not good on Gardevoir. You're better off with Psychic. Flygon with Earth Power is not necessary at all because it can now learn Scorching Sands. Altaria with Moonblast. Again, this is a Community Day move, so definitely worth evolving during a Community Day to get this move because it's going to be the premier move to have for an Altaria in the Great League. Walrein with Powder Snow, Icicle Spear. Again, these are Community Day moves, special moves you can get through evolution, but again, you're going to want both of these if you're running Walrein in PvP. Salamence with Outrage. You need this move for Salamence to be the strong dragon type raid attacker it is, so wait for an event where you can evolve it and get it because again, this is Community Day. Same with Metagross. Meteor Mash on Metagross is the move you're going to want on Metagross, but again, available through Community Days, through evolutions. Maybe they'll give us Community Day Classic for Metagross soon. Like, when is that happening? We have the Regis. Regirock with Earthquake, not good. Regice with Thunder, not really good, but Registeel with Zap Cannon is one I would definitely consider. Registeel is like one of the best Great League and Ultra League Pokemon in Pokemon Go, so I definitely recommend if you have a Registeel powered up for the Great League, double moved, all that stuff, you're gonna want Lock On Fast Move, Zap Cannon as one of its moves, and Focus Blast is the other move, so definitely consider Elite TMing Zap Cannon on that. We have Latios and Latias with Mist Ball and Luster Purge. Don't think these are very good at all. Yeah, no, Psychic is just better on both of these, so do not get these legacy moves at all. But we have Kyogre and Groudon. Now, Kyogre with Origin Pulse is what makes Kyogre #1 water type raid attacker, especially the primal form. So a great choice to consider to Elite TM is going to be Origin Pulse on any of your good IV Kyogres. Groudon Precipice Blades is what makes Primal Groudon the #1 ground type raid attacker. So definitely consider Elite TMing on that move. And then also, if you run Groudon PvP, you actually need to use 2 Elite TMs because you also need to give it Fire Punch, which is a great coverage move and bait move for Groudon. So overall, Groudon's gonna be pretty expensive. If you have a hundo, I would definitely recommend considering 2 Elite TMs onto this Pokemon. But if, you know, maybe there's an event that comes back where you can get Precipice Blades on Groudon for free, then you're only using 1. Who knows? Also, Rayquaza is out here, which can learn Breaking Swipe, Dragon Ascent, and Hurricane. Now, Dragon Ascent is interesting, or it's a legacy move, but you can only get it by using the special item called a Meteorite. You can't get it with an Elite TM. Kind of weird. I don't know why they did that. I guess pay to win. That is definitely a move you want on Rayquaza because it allows you to, first of all, Mega Evolve your Rayquazas, but it also makes Rayquaza and Mega Rayquaza incredibly busted in raids and in PvP. But in terms of a secondary move, if you're going to be running Rayquaza in PvP, Breaking Swipe is one to consider Elite TMing on. It's a great bait move for Rayquaza. It can drop the defensive Pokemon. A great move to have. Dragon Tail, Breaking Swipe, Dragon Ascent, that is the premier move for Mega Rayquaza. I don't think we'll ever get better than that. Okay, moving on to Gen 4. All the starters, again, just get them through the evolution. Don't waste your Elite TMs on them. They're not even that good, the Gen 4 starters. We have Staraptor with Gust. Improves Staraptor as a raid attacker, especially Shadow Staraptor, but it's not that big of an improvement. That's one thing I'll say. Like, the Elite fast TMable moves usually are not that big of an improvement, so they're only really ever worth getting for PvP Pokemon, not really raid Pokemon, because there's usually not a big difference for raid Pokemon. Anyway, Bidoof with Superpower, 100% the best Elite TMable. I'm kidding. Do not use your Elite TMs on Bidoof unless you're a gangster. Luxray with Psychic Fangs, again, evolve, that's a community move. Roserade, these are great moves to have on Roserade, but they are community evolvable moves. Garchomp with Earth Power, Mega Garchomp wants Earth Power to be the ground type raid attacker it can be, but again, just get it through evolution on special community events. Licky Licky with Body Slam, no thanks. Rhyperior with Rock Wrecker makes Rhyperior and Shadow Rhyperior a great rock type raid attacker, but again, it's a community move. Just wait for an event, evolve it, get it then, be patient. It's gonna save you a lot of Elite TMs. Electivire, Magmortar, no thanks, no thanks. Togekiss with Aura Sphere is a community move, you can get that one, but it's not even that necessary for PvP, like people would prefer sometimes to run Flamethrower and Ancient Power. Honestly, Togekiss only needs Charm and it will win. That's like literally all it needs. Leafeon, Glaceon, easily skippable. Mamoswine with Ancient Power, no thanks. Porygon Z with Tri-Attack, no thanks. Galea with Synchronoise, no thanks. Dusknoir with Shadow Ball, no thanks. Now we do have Origin Dialga and Origin Palkia. These are interesting ones because again, these are legacy moves on these Pokemon, but we can't Elite TM them yet, at least at the time making this video. Maybe that's changed when you're watching this. These are definitely moves you want on Origin Palkia and Origin Dialga. When will these Pokemon come back and when will we be able to get these moves again? Who knows, but for now, your best bet is to just get someone who has a Roar of Time Dialga and Spatial Rend Palkia to just trade you one. That's gonna be your best bet because we can't Elite TM these moves. But if you could, I definitely would because these moves are amazing. I have a Hundo Dialga that is waiting to get Roar of Time. Heatran with Mega Storm is definitely a move you're gonna want on Heatran if you're running in the Master League. It's more of a little fringe anti-meta pick, but it's still a cool Pokemon. Definitely Elite TM it if you're planning on running Heatran, which probably not a lot of you are. Giratina Altered and Giratina Origin Form with Shadow Force. Now these moves both improve Altered Giratina and Origin Giratina as raid attackers, but in PvP, they are not gonna be the recommended moves. If you're planning on using a Giratina Origin Form in raids, Shadow Force is great to have, but again, like Shadow Ball is still very, very good, and then it allows you to use that Giratina for PvP and for raids, so like, I don't really know if Shadow Force is worth it on Giratina Origin Form. I would probably just leave Shadow Ball, Ominous Wind, and then you can just use Shadow Ball in raids. It works fine. Cresselia with Grass Knot. If you're running Cresselia in the Grey League or the Ultra League where it does amazing, you're gonna want Grass Knot on this Pokemon. It gives it great, amazing coverage that it really wants. That is one I would definitely recommend considering Elite TMing, especially if you wanna run Cresselia. You can't really run Cresselia without Grass Knot. Darkrai with Sludge Bomb is a no thanks. We're moving into Gen 5. All the starters, again, I'm gonna say it again, they're Community Day Pokemon. Wait for the events to evolve them. Gigalith is a Community Day Pokemon. Conkeldurr, Community Day Pokemon. Chandelure with Poltergeist is a Community Day Pokemon, and I think you want Shadow Ball anyway. Haxorus with Breaking Swipe is a Community Day Pokemon. Wait for Community to get that move. However, that does make Haxorus a better Dragon type raid attacker. That is definitely the premier move to have on Haxorus. Hydreigon with Brutal Swing makes Hydreigon so good as a Dark type raid attacker. I believe it's like number 1 to like 3 overall, like non-mega, non-shadow or something. Crazy good, but again, it's Community Day Pokemon, so just evolve it, get it for free. Don't waste your Elite TMs. Now we have Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion with Sacred Sword. Now first we'll talk about Terrakion. Sacred Sword on Terrakion makes it the number 1 fighting type raid attacker, one of the best raid attacking Pokemon in the game in terms of damage per second. That is definitely one I would recommend Elite TMing. If you have a good IV Terrakion without Sacred Sword, power it up, throw on Sacred Sword, that thing is gonna cook anything that's weak to fighting. Cobalion and Virizion, on the other hand, are 2 Pokemon that are good in the Ultra League. Again, they both need Sacred Sword on these Pokemon, so I definitely recommend, again, consider Elite TMing on these moves onto these Pokemon, or wait for an event or when they return to raids where you can catch one with the move already on it. One of those 2, but these are all 3 great. Sacred Sword is an amazing move. All 3 of these need it for their respective things. Reshiram and Zekrom, Fusion Flare and Fusion Bolt, again, 2 great legacy moves and 2 great choices to Elite TM onto these Pokemon. Reshiram with Fusion Flare is gonna be much better as a Fire type raid attacker. Zekrom with Fusion Bolt is gonna be much better as an Electric type raid attacker. These moves also make them better in PvP. Overall, great moves to have. Can you get by without them? Yes, you can. Zekrom with Wild Charge cooks as well, but you know, there's still, if you have good IV ones, power them up. Kyurem with Glaciate. Kyurem does see some play in the Master League sometimes with Glaciate. Definitely a great move to have. Is it the best though? I wouldn't really consider it. I would rather, you know, Elite TM on Fusion Flare or something like that. Genesect with Technoblast is gonna be a no-go. That thing is kind of useless. We're moving into Gen 6 now. All the moves here, again, Frenzy Plant, Blast Burn, Hydro Cannon, they're community days. Wait for events to evolve them. Actually, this December community day, you will be able to evolve to get all of these legacy moves on these Pokemon. So just wait till December community day. Again, video on the channel soon. Talonflame with Incinerate is an amazing move for Talonflame in the Grey League and the Ultra League, but again, it's a community day move, so just wait to evolve it. Noivern with Boomburst is a disgrace to Pokemon Go. Xerneas with Geomancy is definitely a move you want on Xerneas for the Master League, so definitely consider Elite TMing on that one if you have a really good IV Xerneas, or if Xerneas comes back to raids, you catch a Hundo and it doesn't have Geomancy, you're gonna want Geomancy on that Pokemon. Same with Yveltal with Oblivion Wing, although it's not as good as Xerneas in the Master League. This is more of a secondary consideration. You know, if you have a good IV Yveltal and you want to try to run in the Master League, throw on Oblivion Wing, use it. Moving into Generation 6, we have Decidueye with Frenzy Plant, Incineroar with Blast Burn, Primarina with Hydro Cannon soon. Again, all Community Day moves. Just evolve them, get them then. Chargabug with Volt Switch is going to be a Community Day move as well, but this is actually a good Pokemon for the Great League. Chargabug can cook and can Core Break, so definitely consider not Elite TMing, but getting this move or getting this Pokemon through evolution through some sort of event, because Chargabug is decent there. Tapu Koko with Nature's Madness is not very good, but Tapu Lele with Nature's Madness is actually a pretty good fairy type raid attacker, so consider getting Tapu Lele with Nature's Madness. Is it as good as a Shadow Gardevoir or like a Gardevoir, which is just much cheaper to power up? Probably not, but it is still there. Also, Tapu Bulu with Nature's Madness is a decent Master League Pokemon, able to beat a lot of common Pokemon, so one to consider getting, but this one is so fresh, it just came out in raids, so you probably already have it. Finally, we have Obstagoon with Obstruct. Good on Obstagoon, but against a Community move. Same with Ursaluna with High Horsepower. A great move to have on Ursaluna, although no one really runs Ursaluna ever. But again, it's Community Pokemon, and then Clodsire with Megahorn is a no-go, not the move you want. Guys, that is it. That is all the legacy moves in Pokemon Go, which ones you should get and which ones you shouldn't. If you still have questions, let me know below. Final thing I'm gonna mention is with your Elite TMs, don't just use them because I told you in this video to use them. Hold onto them and only use them when necessary. Let's say a Pokemon weak to Fire type is coming out and you need a new Fire type raid attacker, and you're like, hey, have this Reshiram, then consider powering it up, putting on Fusion Flare. But you know, if right now you're not gonna use the Reshiram right away, there's no point in really just jumping the gun, because you never know. Reshiram might come back to raids. You might do one raid of a Reshiram, you get a hundo, and it has Fusion Flare already on it. Bob's your uncle. You saved yourself an Elite TM. Only use stuff when they are necessary and when you're gonna get instant use out of it. Don't power something up for potential use in the future, if that makes sense. If you enjoyed this video, watch the one below, and if you have any more questions, drop them below. I'll do my best to answer them as best I can. Follow for tips. Peace.